There's only one place in town I take my Harley Davidson motorcycle to, and that is Slab Sides Motorcycle Shop on Glendale Avenue in Reno. If you're looking for a tune-up, customizing your motorcycle, bars, exhaust, they've got everything you need and one of the best hourly rates in town for any of your motorcycle repair stuff. Go check out Slab Sides Motorcycle Shop. This is Jacob, the host of the 4th Street Live podcast, and my new book, The Railrunner, inspired by my life on the railroad and being a railroad contractor, is now for sale on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Please go check out my new story if you're looking to escape reality for a few hours. It's a great read. Support a local Reno author. Thanks so much. What's up, everybody? September 27th is Street Vibes in Reno, Nevada. And I don't know about you guys, but I miss the way it used to be in downtown Reno, bikes lining the streets. It was an event and people would come out. Well, we're trying to bring that back with the baddest little bike show at Revision Brewery. Come out September 27th at Revision. We've got a FXR, Bagger, Club Style, V-Gloss, Chopper, Metric, cars, vendors, trophies, giveaways, surprise guests, and more. There is nowhere else to be on Saturday Street Vibes than Revision Brewing for the baddest little bike show. Come check it out. Is she picking up pretty good? Okay, cool. Where'd you go to high school?
I started out at McQueen, earned me an at Hug, and then I went to McQueen.
I'm a McQueen kid as well.
You are?
I am.
Heck yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Northwest.
That's very cool. So were you a Northwest Reno kid?
I am, yeah.
Oh my God, that's you're the first Northwest Reno kid on here in this special
yeah.
place in my heart. Whereabouts did you grow up? Like Kings
Well,
Row area or no?
I actually lived over by Hug High in a foster home.
I understand.
Yeah. So I moved around a lot.
You did?
A lot, yeah.
So were you in the foster care system?
Yeah.
your whole
So yeah, when my mom had me, I was in prison, or she was in prison, and we were taken by my father, and he left us, just me and my brothers, to fend for ourselves in some hotel room, and he never came back.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was probably like 6 months old. I just had heart surgery because my mom was an addict. And so she did her substances while she was pregnant with me. And so I came out addicted to heroin with a hole in my heart and 2 backwards valves. And so they had to titrate me down and then take me to surgery immediately. So I was constantly screaming. I was hungry. I was just a baby. And my brother actually had to go out and look for, like back in the day when they had the actual food stamps. It was like an actual stamp. And he was pushing us around in a cart looking for old milk or whatever he could do to feed us.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't stop crying. So somebody called CPS, and my brother and I were removed. And my older brother, who was 10, maybe 11 at the time, was taken back to family. And so me and my brother went to foster care. He's about 4 years older than me.
Did you guys go through the system together?
No, actually, we were separated.
That's so rough. Oh
yeah.
My God.
Yeah, we were separated. I was adopted when I was 4. And I remember the door opening and like this black shadow, and then being like, oh my God, I have a home to go to. If I cry, don't judge me. I've had an emotional day.
Yeah.
My story's so crazy. It just gets crazy. So I really thought, oh my gosh, I got a family now. I get to go home. Someone's going to love me. And it was fine. Like the first, no, you're good. It was fine. Like the first, I think, year or 2, maybe. But then like it just turned all sour. Like my parents were alcoholics, I believe, themselves, and they were going through their own traumas and their own things. And I think my dad was very much not into females, and he did not like me at all. I wasn't his real kid. I probably had some problems of my own. And so it was a very volatile and toxic environment for me. And I'm a fighter, like through and through, like to my soul. You tell me not to do something, I'm going to do it. Or if you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to prove you that I can. So he was very abusive to me. And so that was my first real introduction of rejection. You know what I mean? So I was in and out of foster homes depending on what happened between him and I. And so I grew up in the system a lot. They would take me away. They would put me back. And then the abuse would happen again. I'd get taken away. They'd put me back. He just didn't love me. He didn't know how to. I think he came from a toxic environment himself. So he just handed down what he knew. Yeah.
And we're still in your early life right now.
Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy. I know your story touches a lot about abuse of your own.
Very much, yeah.
Is this escapism?
As for me,
Yeah. What was it for you?
what did I do as a substance?
Yeah.
So, like, I
And what?
honestly, I feel like when I was younger, we lived in the back of the valley, like Lemon
Mhm.
Valley, where there was nothing. It was just
Totally.
dirt. We had horses, we had all the animals you can get. My dad would take the cows, we'd have the meat. We had a milk delivery guy. We had our own chickens, eggs. We grew our own veggies and fruits, and we had all that. We didn't grow fruit, obviously, but so we would go out, and everyone knew everyone on the block. So we would go out and drink.
Yeah.
I think I started drinking when I was 13, and because my parents were, like I said, bad alcoholics, so we would just go in their little cabinet and take it, and we would just party. It was like an escape for me. That was definitely like my. I didn't really like it.
I hear you.
I did not like drinking at all.
Gotcha.
It is not my thing, but it did make me feel like I could just be numb.
Sure.
And so I think for that, it was a lot of running away from me. Anytime my dad and I got in a fight, if my mom was out of town, he would kick me out. And so I'd run away. Sometimes I was gone for 2 weeks. Sometimes I was gone for a couple days. When she would come back, he would have me arrested at school, totally mortifying.
Oh my God.
I was always in fights. I was just angry
Yeah.
and confused. And I was searching for validation wherever I can find it. I didn't realize that until I got sober. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my last foster home that I lived in, I think I was like 15 years old. My best friend had killed herself on my birthday, and I had lost it when a girl at school was bad mouthing me and her. And so I ended up getting in a gnarly fight with her and made some threats, and I was arrested. My parents had me arrested and put in West Hills.
How old were you at this time?
I was 14 or 15. I was 15. It was my 15th birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went to West Hills, and in my mind, my parents never came back. So again, I'm abandoned. I'm angry. I'm asking God, why me? I'm like, what? I have so much love to give. So why do I get all this hate? Why do I get all this? Why am I being punished, basically? And so I lived in West Hills for about 3 months, and then they moved me to Willow Springs, where I stayed there for about 8 months. And that was a trip.
I've been in there for meetings, and that place is.
Yeah,
It's
I've
rough
actually
and
gone back there and done like 3 meetings.
oh my
It
God.
was freaking awesome.
I'm glad that you got to do that.
Oh, yeah.
It hurts my soul to go in those doors.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
It is so terrifying. And you know what? We would do things like we're bored, so we're gonna cause a ruckus. Let's strip down naked and run the halls. They can't touch us. They can touch you. And then they give you that Thorazine,
Oh
and
my
you go
God.
to the padded room, and we're bored and we're confused and we don't know what we're doing. And so I lived there, and then the counselor there, her name was Jessica. Fan-frickin-tastic. She changed my world.
Wow.
I always say it takes one.
Yeah,
It
man.
takes one person to give you that hope, one person to believe in you, for you to just go and be great. And she changed my world. Me.
Perfect. Yeah.
And oh, that is a lot better, huh? So she changed my life, got me into a really great group home. There was a lot of girls there. It was like 13 girls. And that's when I started going to Hug. And then that didn't work out. So I ended up going to McQueen, which I loved. I wish I would have started there, honestly. It was a great school.
Yeah.
They really cared about me. I think I showed up there with 2 credits.
Yeah.
I had like nothing. And so I was in special ed classes, and which, whatever. I needed the help because I was so troubled. I didn't care about school.
Yep.
I honestly think that being in a group home saved me from drinking those years or like partying those years, because I think had I not been, I probably would have been way worse. And so when I finally graduated, I just was off and running, no more authority. And I just went out and had fun. And I was just like, I'm just having fun. And so my first introduction with like hard drugs, I think can I say it on here?
Yeah. Anything you want.
Was crystal meth.
Tight.
And I was like smoking with all the skinheads, sewing on all their patches. And I was just like, well, this is fucking fun. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it was fun, but like the drama and all the chaos that came with it was not as great. And
Yeah.
you're just running amok. But
How old were you at this time? Just graduated high school.
I think I was like 18. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had this group of friends that I thought were like my homies, and I had all this money that I saved up from working at Rayleigh's all through high school, and I was like, I'll take all of you to Six Flags. Let's all party. And so we went to Six Flags and they ended up stealing my checkbook and robbing me and taking all my money. That's my dumb fault. I was, again, looking for validation, looking for someone to love me the way that I would love them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure you understand what that feels like.
I don't think I understand it to the extent that you've gone through, but I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was little, I used to write the word love and I wouldn't be able to write anything underneath it. But I could write hate and I could have so much to fill. So the abuse as a
There's
kid,
something in that.
yeah. And yeah. So I left Reno for a little bit, went to Carson, was partying with a bunch of crackheads.
Sure.
And I remember one time they had beat up my boyfriend's dad, like so bad that you couldn't even recognize him. Why, I don't know, technically, or to the extent of why they decided to do that. But I remember being like mouthy. I was so mouthy as a kid. I just didn't care who I stood up to. And
Probably a defense
it
mechanism.
was my fight or flight. Yeah.
sure.
Any male,
Yeah.
especially.
Got it.
And so I think they thought I was going to tell the cops what they did or whatever. But they set our house on fire. Yeah. They threw Molotov cocktails through our windows at 4 o'clock in the morning and set our house on fire
Whoa.
while we were in it. And I was like, so we were known as the trap house, and we would harbor runaways all the time. And so the cops didn't care. They were just like, it was a toaster. So I left. I was like, I'm going back to Reno. So I went back to Reno and I started dancing
Okay.
at the men's club. And that was like, I'm just going to do this for a year. No. I had so much fun. I was making so much money.
Yeah.
That place actually taught me how to be a lady. I was like a
Wow.
little skater punk. I had spiky hair and I didn't really know. I wore baggy clothes. I didn't really do makeup. And so they took me under their wing and kind of.
Tell me more about that. Was that the first time you were around a lot of women kind of thing?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really my first time. My sister from my foster home worked there. And so she was like, come down, I'll show you the ropes. And she did. And all the older ladies took me under their wing and taught me everything, like how to do everything.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun in the beginning. And then you're basically being paid to party.
I hear you.
So if you're not partying, you're not making money.
Yeah.
And at that age, we were 19, I think. So you had to be really sneaky with it because technically you're not allowed to drink in a bar. But so, yeah. And then the partying's fun until it's not anymore.
Right.
I mean, I had a good time.
Regardless.
I really have no regrets, honestly. But life starts getting a little bit sketchy after a while, and you start hanging out with the wrong people, and you get into these abusive relationships in which I had been in, and then people start dying, and then it's just a terrible downward spiral. When I was like 20, I think I was like 22 or 23, I think my boyfriend got arrested. He had a warrant, or no, he had fallen asleep at the wheel and he was on parole and he had a bunch of drugs on him and he got arrested, went back to prison. But before they went back to prison, they came and raided my house. And so they let me stay. And I just was like, cool, I get to stay. He's going to prison and I'm a mess, and I'm still trying to pick up his slack because he was a dealer and all that. So I was like, I'm just going to continue moving drugs for him and send money to him. I ended up getting my house raided and getting arrested. And which blessing in disguise, because I remember sitting there and be like, I'm exhausted. I am tired. So I get arrested and I spend 8 months in PAR. And that was my first introduction to the program. My little nudge from the judge.
Gotcha.
I was looking at not a lot of time at this point because they really didn't have anything on me. Maybe a couple pipes or.
And you had never been in trouble before?
Oh, I've been in trouble. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I've been arrested for being drunk in public,
Yeah.
but all minor things. I didn't have family. My boyfriend was in prison and I was like, I'll just do my time. It is what it is. I don't have kids. I'm young. And at this time, I didn't know any of my family on my biological side. So I was like, I have no one. My adopted parents didn't talk to me. I wasn't in contact with anyone. So I did my time, got back out, went to the program.
You're good.
And that was kind of like my first experience. But while I was there, I really wanted to get better and get off meth and drugs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I was still dabbling.
Totally understand.
I was dabbling in like huffing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was doing shrooms, acid, anything that couldn't get tested on a drug test because I was in drug court. And so, you know how you call and you get your color and you're like, okay, I'm going to go to Burning Man because I have the whole weekend to party. And then by the time I get back, I can get my color called or whatever.
Everything you're saying makes perfect sense to me. And that's how I know I'm an alcoholic. Like, I
Right.
got the same problem as you.
Honestly, anytime I ever like relapsed or used again, it was I took that drink. Like I was lonely and I went and drank,
Yeah.
and then it's just off and running after that.
Wow.
You got to
Yeah.
make money, you got to hustle, you got to pay for your habit. And
Yeah.
so when I was like 24, I met, did you ever know the tattoo shop Dixie Rose?
It does sound familiar.
So you know where the old recycled records was
Yes.
down
No,
on
exactly what you're talking
Virginia?
about.
Yeah. So that the place next to it
Yep.
is now a bar.
Yeah.
That was Dixie Rose.
Got it.
And then we moved across the street to that palm reading place now. Yeah. So Lee Hanna is my daughter's dad. Yeah. And so he and I met at a tattoo convention, and I was sober.
Tattooed?
I no, he used to do the Lady Luck convention.
I know the one. Yeah.
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 And so I'd never met him. My friend Mara introduced us, and I remember standing in line getting an O'Doul's, and he was like, "What are you drinking?" I was like, "I'm drinking an O'Doul's. I don't drink." And he was like, "That's lame." And and I was like, "For you, maybe." And then he had mentioned something to me like, "No girlfriend of mine is gonna have those crappy tattoos," because I had these really shitty tattoos on my left arm.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm not your girlfriend, and I would never date you. You're no." So anyways, I ended up leaving, and he followed me up the escalator and got my number, and we ended up getting along really well. And I ended up having a kid with him. He was very, very much wrapped up in his addiction, very bad. And I loved him so hard that I didn't care. And I just wanted to have this baby with him, even though he had Dixie and I raised her for a couple of years. The relationship was really toxic. It was very abusive. Then it was very loving. Then it was very abusive. He was just struggling with his own demons. So he ended up passing away when Freya was 1.5. He overdosed and passed away in Arizona from huffing dust off, actually, which is crazy. Yeah. But during that time, I was also still messed up in my head. But when he passed away, I was pregnant. I was 3 months pregnant. And I was about to have twins, and I was like so excited about it and scared at the same time. And I think his death, when you have a trauma bond with somebody and they pass away, you're just left with that trauma.
Yeah.
That's where I was at. I was angry. Like, how dare you? How dare you leave me with a kid with this trauma? You don't give me an opportunity to make it right with you, or you make it right with me. And so I
Just a
think
lot of resentment.
a lot of resentment. I was so angry at him. I just remember being so angry and hurt. That was my real, like, first real true hurt right there. And here I am with the baby. If we go back a little bit, when we lived at the tattoo shop where that palm reading place is, we made like an apartment down below.
Got it.
Yeah. And so when we lived there, he was using and doing all that stuff. I remember one time we'd gotten into an argument, and I was like, I'm out. I left, and I took Freya and I left, and I was homeless on the streets for 8 months, just couch surfing with a baby.
Whoa.
Yep. Living in hotels, wherever I could go. I stayed at the Sands for 3 months, and I would let him come back. And then I would find drugs on him, and then I would be like, okay, I gotta go. You gotta go. Get the hell out. And then I got a little studio, and then he would come stay there. And so that was just like this constant back and forth. I thought I could save him. And I did everything I could. I really did. But at some point, I had to be like, I have to worry about me and my daughter.
Yeah.
And he ended up moving back to Arizona, and 3 months later, passing away.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it was awful. It was really awful. But I ended up having Brynja, my second daughter.
Okay.
By the way, today's Freya's birthday. She just turned 16.
Happy birthday, Freya.
Yeah.
There you go.
16 today. It's
Very
crazy.
cool.
Oh my God, it's a trip.
I just want to touch on that real quick because I know you're an incredible mother from what I know about you, and that's what was going through your mind knowing you were going to be a mom, and knowing how you came up. Was it, I'm going to be everything I didn't get? Was it that kind of
I
mentality?
actually love that you asked me this, because remember I say I never really knew what true love was. When I was pregnant and I looked at that test, my heart felt so whole. I'd never felt so right about something, and he didn't want to have a kid. He didn't at
Right.
first. He was like, you're not going to take money out of or food out of my other kid's mouth, and he was scared,
Yeah.
which is totally normal.
Yeah.
And I knew it was right. And I told him, I'll raise her by myself. I don't care. I'm having this baby. It feels right to me. So that was it. Like, she was my very first true love. I immediately knew I wanted to be a mom my whole life.
Yeah.
I wanted to have my own family. So It was quite amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know what I'm doing.
I
Nobody
hear
knows
you.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's
I
extremely
still don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. I still don't. Yeah. I don't think, I wish there was a rule book, but
no.
there's no one ever taught. Yeah. Nobody ever taught me. But
Honestly, though, if there was a rule book, you wouldn't be learning.
for sure, I had to learn by,
Yeah.
I think that's the only way I've learned anything, not
Yeah.
as a parent, but as just as a human being, is I've fucked it up probably 3 times first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
Trial and error. Yeah.
absolutely. But
100%. I
so,
remember being in the hospital. I was extremely sick at the time when I went into labor. She came out on her due date, which is very rare.
right.
And I was really sick. I had an upper respiratory infection and I had internal bleeding. And so I was like really sick and I was by myself. But I remember saying to her, it's just you and me. Like, no matter what, we got this. I will grow, you will grow. It was only, I think it was only like 27 at the time. Now, I forgot to mention that during this time frame that I had been with Lee, I found my biological mother.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Still here?
Yes. Actually, she
What?
lived like right around the corner from me.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
A friend from the program helped me find her. And I was so excited. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to meet my mom. And we made that happen. I reached out to her and she was excited to hear from me. She was excited to see me. And it was pretty cool.
yeah.
It was a pretty cool experience. I got to meet my brother, my older brother, my sister, my other brother, my younger one he's older than me, but my younger brother. He actually found our mom 2 years prior to me.
Yeah.
So he had been in the family for only 2 years. So we all met, and that was really cool. And my mom and I, we clicked like crazy. But again, here I am with that validation. I'm like, I finally have a mom. I don't care what she does. I want to love her through it because that's my mentality at the time.
I'm sure you harbored some resentment there too, right?
I don't know that I did actually.
Gotcha.
At the time, I think I was so forgiving.
Well, yeah,
I'm just
totally
such
get
a
it.
forgiving human. And I didn't know what boundaries were either,
In
you know?
retrospect, knowing what you knew about her when she had you, do you think she made the right decision by putting you in foster care?
I don't think she had a choice, but yeah,
Understood.
yeah, most likely. Yeah,
I hear
because
you.
I think that if I'd been raised with her, the trauma that my brother and my sister experienced probably
Yeah.
would have been the same for me.
You're talking about a level of giving somebody grace that is foreign to a lot of human beings on planet Earth. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
commend you for
For
that
sure, for
because,
sure.
yeah, that's real.
I didn't realize that my mom was like as messed up as she was until later on
Yeah.
when I had my kids around it, and she was very bad alcoholic and she was on benzos and heroin, and during that time frame of her and I being together, I had gotten really sick and my boyfriend at the time was a heroin dealer, and I remember being like septic and I was like, or is septic sepsis?
No, septic, I
It is
think is,
septic,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And in the hospital because I had kidney stones and I was in there for about 2 weeks, and when they released me, I had so much Dilaudid and morphine that I was sicker than a dog. He was like, here, try this, and shot heroin into my leg.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that was my first time ever experiencing heroin, and I was off and running after that.
How old were you at this time?
I think I was 29.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is after
Both my
had both
kids
your
were
kids.
born.
Got it.
Yep. And I remember my mom saying, cool, now we can bond.
For the black.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to show you how to do it the right way.
Oh my God.
Cool. If you ever feel like you're dying, get up and run. Stick your head in the freezer. Like she would show me all the ins and outs because she's been doing it since she was 16, 15, 16. And so she was like, we're bonding. I knew this day would come. Talk about a trauma bond.
Wow.
And then
On a different level.
yeah, on
Like,
a whole
yeah.
nother level. And I didn't care because I just wanted my mom.
Yeah, I know.
I
So it's
wanted,
enabling on
it
every
was
front.
so enabling. But I
Yeah.
also, my mindset was this: I'm not going to bring it home with me.
Okay.
I'm never going to let my kids see me high. If I'm going to be high, I'm going to go out and stay out until I decide I want to come home, which is so stupid. That's the insanity of it.
So you're justifying it
Yes.
by thinking that if you do it like that, that you're
I'm not
not a true
addicted.
addict,
Yeah, I'm
right?
not addicted.
Fuck.
And I'm
It's
still a good
crazy that
mom.
makes sense to me. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm still a good
Recreational
mom.
heroin use. For
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I understand what you
Yeah.
mean.
So obviously the insanity of it just got crazier and crazier. Living in a trap house that didn't have water, or like running through Shays and all the clubs downtown and all the bars and just all day, every day, just nonsense. And I'm like at my boyfriend's house and I get this call. It's CPS. Yeah. They're at my mom's house.
Okay.
My sister called CPS on my mom,
On your mom.
my adopted sister.
I understand.
And I answered the phone and I remember my heart sinking to my stomach. Like she says, "Hey, this is Ryan from CPS. We're at your house doing a checkup. We got a call that we need to come do a welfare check." I immediately say, "I need help.
Yeah.
I need help. I'll do whatever it takes. Please don't take my kids." So I run over there and I get there and I'm like, "You're not taking my kids. You just can't. These are my babies. I love them. I have all the love in the world for them. I'll do whatever it takes." And she even said, "These kids are loved by their mom. She just needs help." So my sister said she would take the kids until I got sober. I was like, "Thank you so much." I didn't know she called CPS on the kids. She didn't tell me. Her and another one of my friends. And I didn't find out till later that she'd done that. But she made it seem like she didn't and it was someone else. And I felt really betrayed by her.
I understand.
And
But I also think things happen like that for
of course,
Yeah.
yeah, later on when you realize it.
Yeah,
So
but you were bummed. Yeah.
so I think a part of that was like, okay, thank you. Now I know they're safe. They're not going to be the stranger. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go get sober. So I'd go one day, I'm fine, 2 days, 3 days. The third day, I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't do it. And I would go back out and use. And then I was like, okay, I could do this again. And I would do it 3 days. Can't do it. I'm sicker than a dog. Nothing's functioning. I am dying essentially by myself. And so I'd go back out and use. And then anytime that I'm like, I'm really trying, they're like, "No, you're not. We don't believe you." And I'm just running through this cycle of, "Please believe me. I'm a really good person. I really need you to believe me." Like, and instead of saying, "Hey, I believe you. Let me help you," it's, "No, you're an awful human being. You're a terrible freaking mother." Now, in the process of all before this, I had been arrested for stealing from Walmart. And I had a bunch of drugs and substances and rigs in my purse. And so I was facing 7 felonies before my kids were taken. So I was already in the system looking at jail time, prison time. And so during this whole process, there's a program called Family Drug Court, and you can voluntarily go in, but you can't leave until you finish the program. So I was like, "I'll do it. Whatever I got to do, I'll do it. I just want the help." So here I am. My kids are gone. I'm literally walking around with their teddy bears, holding it because I'm lost without them. I'm going to start crying. They're my whole world. And I am really trying hard to get sober. And my pride is still high. I don't need to go to a detox center. West Care was open at the time. And I was like, I'm not going there. That's where homeless people go.
I'm not that bad.
Yeah, I'm better than that. I can
I
do this on
totally-
my own.
yeah.
You can't put me in a box. You just can't. And so I remember thinking I was okay, and I had taken a Xanax and I had fallen asleep and missed my court date. Yeah. And I remember like calling my bail bondsman and being like, "Hey, I missed my court date. I'm in rehab." I wasn't.
Okay.
But I did go check myself into Bristlecone. And I'd called him from Bristlecone and I said, "Look, I'm trying to detox here." And they didn't really, at the time, I don't think they really knew like how to properly detox people from heroin.
Yeah.
And so the pills that they'd give me was causing me to hallucinate. And like, I felt like I was in the Matrix and I was tripping out. And so I was like trying to get ready because he was like, "Go down Monday and handle your warrant." I was like, "All right, cool. I will." I was trying to get ready. Somebody called in and said I was trying to run away. And I couldn't even see straight. They came out with, I'm talking like so many cop cars. They surrounded the whole entire building and had me arrested and walked me out. And I'm like this tiny little, I'm probably like 90 pounds and I'm carrying my kid's teddy bear. And they have me on the news and they have me like on Reno's Busted and I'm holding a teddy bear. And I'm like, come on. Come on. So they pulled my bond and I went back to jail. And I wasn't able to see my kids. And so I'm going crazy.
Did the feeling ever set in that fear that they're gonna go through the same systems that
Yes.
failed you?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. As a matter of fact, I almost ruined their experience and caused my trauma to be their trauma
Totally.
because I was trying to control the whole situation. They did go to a nice home. It was a nice place. I think that the father didn't know how to handle Freya because she was like 4 at the time, and Brenya was 2, and she went through a lot of trauma. She's high functioning autistic, and we didn't know it at the time, and she would have meltdowns and she would cry and cry and cry, and they would just put her in a room and lock her in there for hours, and I felt it. I felt every part of it, and I was going crazy trying to call them all the time and be like, why are you treating my kid like that? This is my kid. All the thoughts that go through my head. I'm going to freaking go kidnap my kids and run to Mexico. You can't have them. They're mine.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So when I got out, I went to West Care. I went to step 2 first. I tried step 2. I was still faking my piss test. I was still trying to, I was still using,
Yeah.
and I would fake the pee test, fake the mouth swab so I could see my kids. I would get to see them 1 hour a week. That was horrible. And when I would see Freya, we'd be playing around and she'd have bruises on her. And so, of course, I would make a report and I'd be like, where'd you get that? And she would try to tell me in the best way that she knew how. My kids are very advanced, and so she's super smart when she talks, and she basically will say it in her own words. And so we had a lot of problems with that. I'd end up back in court talking about it, and they would always say she strips her kids down and searches them every time she sees them. I don't do that, but it is my job as their parent to make sure they're safe, whether you like it or not.
I understand.
So everything, the CPS worker was against me. My kid is autistic, so I would buy her clothes that I knew that she would like to wear, and they would throw them away because they say that I'm trying to buy her love. And I didn't see it at the time. I don't think I was. I just wanted her to be comfortable and know that mom was thinking about her. And I did finally decide, the very last time that I ever used, I believe it had fentanyl in it. Every time I used, I would puke and puke and puke. No matter how many times I shot up, I was puking my guts up. And I remember being on the Northwest area. I was on West McCarran, and I called my counselor and I said, I need to go to detox. I'm ready.
Wow.
Please save my bed for me.
Okay.
And so I went to West Care, and I must have slept for 4 days straight. And I just knew I was done. They did give me Suboxone. I didn't want to take the Suboxone, but I knew I needed it. And so,
Like you would die.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now picture this. I have my head shaved, right? I
Fuck
am.
yeah. Hell yeah.
I have an abscess on my arm because I had knotted out, and I blew out my vein. My hands were swollen, triple the size, and I'm in here just wrecked. 80 pounds, 90 pounds wrecked. And they're telling me I have to take this Suboxone, and I'm like, I don't want to. I'm done. I'm done using. I want to get back to me and with my children. That's my goal. A lot of people say their kids saved them. I genuinely think that they did save me.
Here you go.
So my last dose, I'm there for 7 days. I tell the guy, can I just go back to step 2? My kids have a dentist appointment on Monday. I want to get the route down. I want to know what I'm doing and where to go. Can I please just go? And he was like, yeah, no problem. Go ahead and go. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, just sign this paper. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, you still have 1 dose left. You need to be taking that. And I was like, but I don't want it. Okay, we'll sign this paper. I had no idea what I was signing.
Okay.
I was still detoxing.
Was it like relinquishing responsibility if something happened?
It was the AMA.
Got it.
Yeah. And I had no idea what that meant. So I ended up getting the bus and going back to step 2, and they did drug test me, and I tested positive for meth, and I had a very thin line for heroin. And they said, oh, you tested positive. I was like, yeah, I've only been sober for 6 days, 7 days. Of course, I'm still going to test positive, but I get where they're coming from. I understood that. But they said, but you signed this paper here, and it kicks you out of all rehabs. You have to go. And I'm like, where am I going to go? I have nowhere to go, literally nowhere. So they kicked me out of step 2, and I ended up back on the streets. And I had called a friend who did a meeting in that West Care, and he came and picked me up and took me to his house. That was a weird experience, but for another day. But I did go to Bristlecone and got a counselor there, and he said to me, I believe you. I believe everything you're telling me is what you really want. And I just looked at him, and that's all it took. That is all it took, and I was off and running.
One person to say.
One person to say, I believe you. I know you're trying. I see it in you, And so I had to do a bunch of counseling there, and I did a bunch of AA meetings. So my first 90 days in the program, my first 90 days in the program, I did 420 meetings.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You fucking live there.
I
Oh my
literally,
God.
no, I literally did not want to fucking leave. I was so terrified that I was going to fail, and I didn't want to fail, and I was tired of people not believing me. And I'll tell you what, all my friends who were my friends before I got sober were nowhere to be found.
Oh man, we
I
talked
was,
about that.
yeah, I was all by myself,
Yeah.
literally by myself. I had one friend that stuck with me, and he's still my friend today. And
Not 400. So how many meetings did you say in the first 90 days?
420.
And
Literally from the time, basically the time it opened until it closed. I would literally stay
yeah.
inside the Triangle Club and vacuum for an hour until the next meeting when they would close it, and they would let me stay there because I didn't have a car, and I would just vacuum and clean up the building and then wait for the next meeting to show up. And it was at 10 o'clock, and I would do that meeting and then go home.
Yeah. And did it stick after that?
Yeah, it was amazing.
That sobriety day is still your sobriety day.
October 22nd, 2013.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's a man in recovery, and he is in the family drug court program, and he saw me doing the
Way.
work.
I know him.
You do?
Yeah, of course.
Start with a T.
Of course. The motorcycle guy.
He is the best. And honestly, when I was in there doing the work, he saw it. And so when I went to this program, they give you like a mentor mom and a foster grandma. And those are the ones that like help you get food and take you like shopping if you need to and get you to your appointments. And they're freaking amazing. And there was a woman in there, and she was like telling the other woman who I originally got, I want her. Can you switch with me? There's something about her that I want. She can't be put in a box, and I think I could help her. And she grabbed me, snatched me up, and was like, and we're friends to this day. She saved me. So I went into this program, and I remember being in front of the judge. I was like 4 months sober, and it's Judge Janet Berry. I love you. But I'm in there, and she says, I'm the last one to go up in front of her. And she had sent everyone to prison.
Whoa.
You know how terrified I was?
Yeah, it's a shitty day.
I was like, fuck, I'm going to jail. I'm going to fucking jail. And she says to me straight up, I want your rights taken away. You don't deserve to be a mother. And I'm bawling. Yes, I do. I totally do. In my head, I'm like, I'm not a terrible person. I'm just lost.
Yeah.
I don't know anything other than the dark. That's all I know. Toxic world, toxic life. I'm comfortable there. And for me to go over to the other side, it was terrifying. Change? Are you kidding? What if somebody doesn't like me? What if they don't love me like I love them? So when my kids were taken, my mom went to sleep. She was like, those are some good friends you have. And that was my epiphany. I don't want to be in your life anymore. I do not. And so I cut her off.
So she made a choice when you were born that she wasn't going to be in your life, and then eventually you ended up having to make a choice for her not to be in yours. That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to bring her to meetings, and I tried to help her and get sober, but she just wasn't ready. And I do this program. I get to court. She says, I want to take your rights away. You don't deserve to be a mom. But there's all these people in the back. And it's like a lot of people from the program. It's my friend who's in the program. They're advocating for you. They believe in you.
Yeah.
If I see you in my court again, I will send you away, and you will no longer be a mother. I felt so blessed. And so the whole thing with having my kids taken away was so mortifying. It was embarrassing. I was embarrassed. I was like, how can I be that person? The person I never wanted to be, I am right now. And that was probably humility is what keeps me sober, honestly, partly. And so I did the program. I had a successful story. The judge even came back to watch me graduate. She was like, I've never had anyone do this program so well. 2% of people get their kids back and keep them. 2%. That's not a lot. That's sad. So the program really worked for me. I got in, I got a sponsor, I did the steps. I got a service commitment right away. I was really active. I did whatever I had to do. I held the door open. I was a greeter. I did all the speaker meetings, selling raffle tickets. I did whatever I had to do. I was there. Attraction rather than promotion.
Absolutely.
And it really helped me out a lot. My kids were raised in there. They know that. I moved away for a little bit. I left and moved to Fernley because they were little, and I wanted to learn how to stand on my own feet and be alone. and needed that.
So after that court date, how soon after did you get full custody of your kids back?
I got my kids back 9 months after they were gone. Yeah, I did meet a man in recovery. His name was AJ. I don't know if AJ Christie. Yeah, wonderful human being. And we were together. We had to sneak around because he was on probation and so was I. But when my kids came home, I was like, we have to pause.
Yeah.
We paused and he relapsed and passed away. So three years after Freya's dad passed, AJ passed away. And I'll tell you what, that to do it all over again, sober, was completely crazy to me. I had a better head on my shoulders.
Yeah.
And I was able to understand it better. It didn't hurt any less. It was just stronger. So I always say this when I do meetings: cleaning up the wreckage of your past will always be there. So the trauma that I caused my own children, I'm still dealing with it. My daughter hated me for a long time.
I believe it.
And I have spent years and years trying to repair that trauma that I caused for her.
Yep.
So fast forward to today. I rekindled my relationship with my adopted parents a year ago. I just showed up at my mom's house on Mother's Day and said, Happy Mother's Day. Actually, I was a little pussy about it, and I sent my daughter, go give her that rose, because I give roses out on Mother's Day to all my single moms. And she goes up there and she gives the rose to her. It's just from me and my sister and my mom. And she says, You're Sophia's daughter, aren't you? She looks just like me. And she was like, Yeah. And then she runs back to the car, and I'm getting ready to back out. And she comes running out, and she's like, Where are you going? And I was like, I'm leaving. All my trauma is like coming up. Like, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Can you come over for dinner? What do you mean? You want me here? I haven't seen them in 15 years. She said, Yeah, come to dinner. So we've been going to dinner there like every Sunday for a year now. Yeah, a little over a year. Now, I did see my mom recently, my biological mom. She's in the hospital. She's not doing well. And she was in the ICU unit for about 2 weeks. All of her body's shutting down from years of abuse. I went there 2 days ago and she was awake. And we did talk and I let the girl see her. And it was okay. I was so scared and it was okay. It's funny how things make a full circle. It was okay. I am an adult. I know how to set boundaries and stick to it. So no one can hurt me.
Yeah.
Unless I allow them to.
Yeah.
We allow people to treat us a certain way by what we accept.
Yeah.
So I like to bridge the gap. I'm a very forgiving person, but I do it with boundaries. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
curious, when you first were coming into the rooms, was your thought, I need to get better for me, or was it, I need to get better so I can get my kids back? Was there a plan, or was it like, I just need to get better first, and then I'll
You
figure
know
it
what's
out?
funny is that when I first got in there, I just wanted to control everything.
Totally. Oh,
I
fuck
wanted
yeah,
to
I
control everything, and I didn't know how not to.
Yep.
And I went to church, and they were like, anyone needs to be blessed, please come up here. And I was crying hysterically in the bathroom. I was just like, I was having an epiphany. Oh my gosh, let it go. Let it go and work on yourself. Like, literally stop trying to control it. They have your children. You can't control that. Let them do their thing and you do yours. Or they're going to kick your kids out of that foster home and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. And it could be worse. It could be worse. So I went down to the front and they all, like a big group of people, prayed over me. And that was like my first like forgiving moment of God.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. I get to be the mother that I always wanted today. I really do. So I did. I stopped trying to control everything. I turn it over now. I turned it over then. And I just got busy doing what I need to do to recover and heal my trauma so that I don't, like I said, drag that trauma or give that trauma to my own kids. I get to be a mom. I get to be a friend. I love my kids. I just love being a mom. My kids are 14 and 16 now.
Cool.
My daughter just started high school and it's crazy. I have 4 years left with them. And I'm like a little bit stir crazy about it. What am I going to do when they're gone? So I need to be careful with that. I still deal with Freya's trauma. She struggles with mental health and she now loves me and respects me more than she did when she was younger. She told me, I forgive you, Mom.
So you just did middle school.
Yeah, horrible.
What the fuck?
Horrible.
7 o'clock.
That, yeah.
Oh
But
my
like,
God.
I think middle school's always been horrible. Do you
That
remember middle
too.
school? Like
I do
being
remember
like
it. I
terrible.
I
Like the
started
most drama.
I definitely I started using, and I think it had something to do with it was also the time where I was trying to find some kind of identity, you know
Hmm.
what I mean, in middle school, and the identity of the people I clicked up with in Northwest Reno was it was cool. I was cooler to kids and other people
Mhm.
if I was doing what they were doing. So like you, I didn't really fucking love it, but I liked them liking me for
Exactly.
doing
You
it.
felt
And then eventually
validated.
I liked the effect produced. Don't get it
Of
twisted. I
course.
definitely did, but it wasn't always that. It was most of the time it was like I wanted to be cool like them. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
me
So
too.
it was definitely like that, and it was definitely
I get that. Yeah.
something. But
I
yeah,
want you
you were
wanted to
saying
matter.
yeah, high school. My oldest just started middle school, and
What school?
Billinghurst.
That my daughter went there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a great school, but it's fucking starts at goddamn 7:30, and I just not used to waking up that early.
Oh
And I
yeah.
got another one. I got another one in elementary school.
Yeah. High school starts at 8.
It's still better.
It's way
I'm
better.
getting a lot of work done
Yeah.
between dropping my elementary school kid off and my middle school kid off.
But of
Uh,
course, your kid wants to be there at 7:30.
Yeah,
I need to be there at 7:30 because all my
right on the
friends
dot.
are there and I
Right.
need to, they're nervous.
Yeah.
And that school that she goes to is Spanish Springs High School.
Yeah.
And it is, what I've heard, has the most kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
They need
In
another one
Washoe
out there.
County. Yeah. They're big, they're huge.
Yeah.
And so far, our experience is pretty good. We had a little episode yesterday, but we handled it. Like, I don't really know the rules there yet. And I think that you're not allowed to DoorDash or whatever your food. But I had dropped off lunch for my daughter and her friend, and one of the teachers took it from them. It was like, you just DoorDash, you can't have it. And Bryn was like, my mom just dropped it off, literally. And I'm on the phone, and I was like, just give the phone to her.
Yeah.
And she was like, nope, go get it in the office. So my kid's very athletic. She does all-star cheer,
Okay.
and now she does high school cheer as well. And so not only does she have to take a weights class, she has to go to practice right after school. So she wakes up at 5:30 to get ready, and she doesn't get home till 6.
Yeah.
3 days a week. And so I'm like, how is she going to fuel up if you're taking her food? So honestly, the dean called me and was like, I'm so sorry. Did she get to eat? Because I wrote an email. I was
Yeah.
like, this is
Yeah. What the
unacceptable.
fuck? Yeah.
Like, how would she feel if I took her food? The
Yeah. Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
You would have the same reaction.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. It's one of my biggest battles is because I know I'm a motherfucker when it comes to my kids.
Yeah,
And
it's hard not to be.
yeah, my mom was always my mom. I have a great mom, and she's a lot like you in a lot of ways. Believe it or not, she's a very strong woman, and
Love
she
it.
fucking always was always like she'd have my back, but she was definitely like, if you're fucking up, I'm gonna talk to you first. You know what I
Yes, I'm the
mean?
same
And
way.
it was very high accountability in my
That's the
childhood. You
best
know what
though,
I mean?
because
Yeah.
honestly, I raise my kids to be accountable as well.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
I'm not naive to the fact that they could be asshats or
Absolutely.
have an
Yeah.
attitude
Yeah.
or I raise them to stand 10 toes. So if
Yeah.
you're going to have that energy, have it,
Yeah.
but also be kind and
Yeah.
understand that people have hard home lives and remember where we were at one point in our life and respect the fact that if someone's acting out or being a certain way that you understand that might be coming from a place of pain
Yeah.
and respect people and be nice to everyone,
Yeah.
but also have your boundaries and be accountable for your shit. And my first thing I always say is, what's your part in it?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. That's the program in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I love that.
What
I
is your
hate
part?
that, but I
I
love
know.
that.
I
You know what I
know.
mean?
Live in
But
your part. Live in your moment. Be accountable.
yeah.
And they are. No, don't get me wrong. They have their jealousies and their emotions and their insecurities, but they're pretty tough.
Yeah.
My daughter's coach was like, I can tell you're raising your daughter with a humble heart. She's kind, she's driven, she comes in and gives 100% every time. She takes direction. She is a well-rounded kid and she's a leader and she has a humble heart. And that is just so amazing.
What's it feel like dropping your kid off at high school at 16 and thinking back to you being 16 in high school? Is that a beautiful thing or what?
Yeah, 16 in high school, I was having to go to a different school because there's some things that happened at the other school. And so I
Yeah.
remember being like embarrassed.
Yeah.
I had to take this bus that I didn't want to take and I'd have to leave early so that no one saw me taking the bus. It was mortifying. I was in a foster home. I was embarrassed and we weren't allowed to drive. We weren't allowed to do sports. We weren't allowed to do anything. I played soccer my whole life. So like I wanted to play soccer in high school and I didn't get to do that. So giving my kids the ability to do the sports that they want and letting them be who they want to be is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I am an only parent, and Brenya's dad isn't around, and that's okay. That's his choice. And she is a strong human being. And my theory is this: either step up or step out. And if you don't want to be in all the way, don't come around at all, because you're going to hurt her, and she's going to have that fear of abandonment, and she's going to wonder, why doesn't he love me?
Right.
And I never want her to go through that like I did.
Yep.
It causes so much insecurities, and she is a strong human. Freya too. Freya struggles, like I said. She has her mental health issues and or struggles. I don't like to call them issues. They're struggles. And I'm still learning. I've taken many courses and classes on how to understand the brain so that I could be a better parent to her.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, my daughter, they're very protective of me,
Love it.
especially my youngest. And when you talk bad about her mama, she sees red. And sometimes she'll sit back and be like, I should have thought about that before I said that.
Love it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. You're still learning.
Yeah.
They're pretty freaking cool. I'm very blessed.
That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, like I said, I get to be the mother that I always wanted.
That's cool.
And then bridging the gap of the relationships that caused the trauma for me has been a unique thing. I never thought that I would be able to do that. And I always, in my head, are like, if I ever saw them, I'm gonna be like, fuck you. You fucked me up. But I don't.
Yeah.
My sister always says, my biological sister, she always says, you have the biggest heart. You are the kindest person I've ever known, and you will forgive anybody. I just don't want to have hate in my heart.
Yep.
And I don't want to have resentments, and I don't want to have anything. I just want to deal with it, sit in my shit, deal with my emotion, and get through it that day and leave it.
Yep.
And that's what we work on every day. It means a new day every day.
I wanted to ask you a question. When you're talking about, a program that you worked, there's a part in that program where you take inventory. And I'm really curious on this because I've taken my inventory and I've worked the program with other people. And 99% of the time, when I'm going through these lists of resentments throughout my life, I had a pretty blaring part in almost everything that I've done, and every resentment I've ever had, every fear. I had a big part. And it's not often that I meet somebody that is truly didn't have a part in a lot of things. And that is the hang up for so many people who suffer from our disease
100%.
is
Yeah.
that victim mentality. Because I've
Yes.
manifested victim mentality
Yes.
for shit that I'm responsible for. And here I am sitting here talking to somebody who's truly had just a hand dealt that you're not. It's 100. There's no other way around it that you had no control in. You know what I mean? And you didn't let that victim mentality rule your thinking. Eventually, you did put the shovel down, and that's the
Yeah.
one thing I have to commend you for that, because that's the thing that holds so many people up and fuck for less than what we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they'll never get it just because they won't let that mentality go, because it's comfortable to sit in your shit. It's comfortable to be in that mud.
Mentality. Yeah.
God, it
Yeah.
is.
Sometimes I think I can fall back into that, and then I have to check myself.
I hear
But
you.
I think
Hear it here.
no,
And
I
that's
don't.
where
I'm very accountable. I will always be accountable. There was only one thing that really bothered me when having to take my part in it. And it was, I mean, all of it honestly was a little difficult, but I know that I probably wasn't the easiest child. I had a lot of trauma, and like I said, I am like my oldest. I have a fight within the deepest part of my soul. And I wanted to fight everyone who was trying to challenge me. I had to be right. I knew everything. I wasn't perfect, but I don't know. The way I work with my kids is I love them through it. You lead with love. I'm not perfect. I will snap. I will get irritable. I get overwhelmed. I'm all by myself raising two girls. I'm not perfect, but I am accountable. And I will come back and say, hey, man, I shouldn't have done that. Or, hey, what can we do different? Hey, I really need you to communicate what you actually want. And I know you don't really understand what that is right now, but if you can give me a little piece, maybe I can help guide you. Like, I don't believe in like letting the kids just go do what they want, figure it out on their own. I don't think that's the right way to do it. And I might get hated on for that, and that's okay, but to each their own. I believe that, that saying, let them. I believe in that as well.
I hear you.
But I also believe that I want to have an open door policy. You can come to me for anything. You want to drink? I'm sure you're going to want to drink. Just talk to me about it. You want to go try something? I want you to do your research.
Yeah.
You know what it's like. We
Yeah.
come from an addictive family. It is in our genes on all sides. You know what you're getting yourself into. So if you are willing to dabble in that and try that out, do your research.
That's been on my mind a lot lately with my kids starting middle school. And I was sitting there racking my brain around it. And I was like, it's middle school. And he's in 6th grade. It's middle school now. And he's a baby. He's a child.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, why would I ever think because he's in middle school? And it's because when I was his age, I was already in my addiction.
Isn't that a trip?
And I think about that and I'm just like, that brings me tremendous, resounding, I'm doing something right because he's a child and he's a little boy and he knows nothing about that. And fuck, I'm just glad.
The horrible thing about like how we're raising our kids in this world now
Yeah.
is the social media.
Oh man, yeah.
If I had to go back and prevent my kids from having social media, I would have done it sooner. Now it's just too late. I could do it if I wanted to, but they're just so deep in it. But
Yeah.
the thing is, like, you go to school, you get bullied, right? You can go home and shut it off and not have to worry about it till Monday or whatever. Then 9 times out of 10, they forget about it or they move on to the next person, right? But now you go home and you have the bullying online and it never ends and it never shuts down. And this year, Bryn had a friend, or last year in 8th grade, who committed and he was 12 years old.
Oh my God.
13 years old because people were bullying him.
I'm gonna kill somebody.
Yeah. And so the thing with being accountable and also being completely blunt and honest with your children, this is how life is. It's not easy. And you need to understand what to look for and what to know and how to react and what to do. And that's why I say be kind to everyone. Always be kind. Don't get walked on for sure. Know what, people are doing. Be aware.
Don't mistake my kindness.
No, absolutely not. But social media never shuts down, right? So there's the bullying online that is horrible. And middle school is the worst. So if I can recommend anything, and I'm sure your wife is quite an amazing mother, she probably stands 10 toes as well, mama bear style.
She does.
Protect them from that.
So no social media in middle school. That's
I wouldn't. No, I would definitely not.
Perfect.
No.
Yeah, no, my kid does the Fortnite.
Especially Snapchat.
Okay, yeah, fuck that. Yeah, my kid does the Fortnite and other things, and I've seen him walk away from a game on the PlayStation, which is something I didn't have. But he crying on the play. Oh man.
Oh, they rage quit.
And I'm just like, that old. My dad can beat up your dad, and I'm the fucking president of an outlaw motorcycle club. I'll show up to your house, bro. I want to be that guy sometime.
Right, 100%.
But I also got to try and live this too. You know what I mean?
And honestly, if you just communicate with people, they're usually pretty good about it. Like a lot of parents are pretty good about it. I'm glad my kids have been in sports most of their childhood. Freya is very artistic. She's been tattooing for about 2 years now.
What?
Yeah, she's badass.
No shit.
She is so badass. Yeah. Because our dad's a tattoo
Have you given her a needle yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, she's definitely.
So cool.
Yeah. So she's been doing art since, when I was going through my classes and learning the brain, it said you had to unwind the brain. So she has severe anxiety. So when she was little, I was like, okay, even if you just scratch, just like at night, just draw because she can't sleep. Her brain never shuts down.
I love it.
Ever, which is scary for addiction. And
exact same way.
Yeah, she just took off with it and started drawing. She's been drawing forever. She did get into the whole furry thing for a little bit and she gets made fun of a lot. And she's not into that whole scenario. She just likes the art of it. And she makes these badass heads and she sells them and they're a lot of money. And she is so artistic. She can make anything, draw anything, and she's cool. She doesn't have very many friends.
Yeah.
Because she's a little advanced for her age. And so I think is challenging for a lot of people. Yep. And so a lot of her friends are older. She does have a little group of friends that I love to death. They're so good to her. And she's just antisocial. She's I don't want to leave. Cool. But she is artistic. So I have one artistic child and one athletic child.
Love it. Completely
just driven by sports and discipline. And she does not ever want to be in trouble. And she's not a goodie, but she just doesn't want to get in trouble.
I get it. I totally get it.
And then Freya's just, fuck all of you. I'll do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
She is me, like with that fight. She'll fight me for anything. But as she's matured, she has become like such a wonderful little lady who has a different view of life now. She can fall into that victim mentality a lot. And I'm trying to help her get through that. Yeah. I don't really know how to. I've put her through therapy and it doesn't really help, but I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. She came to me yesterday and was like, I need to go back to therapy. My brain is not, she just feels like she never wants to live. And it's hard to deal with when you have a child like that, you know?
Imagine.
So if there's anyone out there that has advice for me, please give it up.
There you go.
I'm desperately seeking help for, her.
I think you hit it right on the head. I think it's just love and therapy. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that's okay. It's fucking
Yeah.
okay because it's like the program that we talk about is not a cure-all. It's
No. Oh
fucking
my
not.
God, no,
And
no. I
and
believe in therapy.
for sure. It's just
It's just finding the right one.
yeah. And like you talked about unwinding your brain, I didn't. That's exactly what I have immense anxiety and I have to keep my brain fucking
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
It doesn't shut off. And
Yeah.
the way that I cure that is by trying to build motorcycles. I build motorcycles
Perfect.
alcoholically. I start businesses alcoholically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do things alcoholically. And instead of doing alcohol alcoholically
Yeah.
or drugs alcoholically,
Yeah.
fuck, because that shit just didn't get me anywhere.
Yeah.
But I try and do it with the same kind of vigor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you keep reinforcing stuff like that, man, that's
Let me
right
ask
on.
you a question. What do
Yeah.
you, when you asked me about the inventory, what does that look like for you?
My inventory was so simple. It just took me 7 months of just dry sobriety. You know what I mean? And it was the fucking worst because here's my big obsession. I was 21 when I got sober.
Yeah.
And
So young.
nobody in the rooms was 21, but nobody else in the room smoked crack. And nobody on the rooms walked this 4th Street miles and miles for days and days on end and was hearing shit and fucking just twacked out at 21 years old. And nobody was on parole and nobody was crashing their car and nobody was as bad as me as early as me that I had met yet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And all I had heard at 21 was the differences of everyone else, right?
Yeah.
So I honed in on the differences because I was also raised in the rooms. My dad's got 30 years of sobriety. My aunt,
Fantastic.
my grandfather, they're all in the rooms, and I've been growing up in these rooms my whole life. And they all talk about shit that I didn't do it like them. You know what I mean? And finally, I read that part in the book that talks about alcohol is a symptom, right?
Yeah.
And you can replace alcohol with anything because I qualify for all of it, but alcohol is but a symptom, and we had to get down to the causes and conditions. And I had a sponsor, and we started working, and I got through, and I did this really superficial inventory and brought it to him, and he's, you're fucking lying. he caught me because it was bullshit. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But it was like, how do you know it was bullshit? I'm only 21.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't have that much wreckage.
Yeah.
And he just knew. And I did that 2 times. And then when I finally sat there, and what the game changer was is the promises were coming true in everybody else's life around me. And I was fucking struggling because they all got sober at the same time as me and their lives were getting better. They had hot girlfriends and fucking good credit and they got the jobs and I still got $4 in my fucking bank account
Yeah.
with a 400 credit score. So what's wrong with me? And then I finally realized, and I got to that part in the book where it talked about the causes and conditions, and what that is talking about is taking inventory. And it was real easy for me once I finally sat down and did it. But that is truly the day I became a man. Because if you guys are wondering what separates men from boys, to me, it's accountability.
Accountability all day.
And
Yeah.
the ability to take accountability.
Yeah.
And again, normal people that are hearing this are like, I do that anyway. Cool, because we don't. We
You
lack
gotta own
this.
your shit though.
We're
You have
spiritual
to own
deficient.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I finally got down and realized that 99% of every resentment I ever had was I had a part in. I
Yeah.
had that 4th column and I had that 4th and I had a part. And ironically, what we're talking about, the only one that was on there that I didn't have a part in was my dad left. And but that was like the one where I was holding on. I was like, I'm going to be a victim. You know what I mean? And I let it, even subconsciously. But even though I had a dad that adopted me, that had 30 years of sobriety, fucking everything happened for a reason.
Absolutely.
The profound thing. And
what a blessing you had a dad that adopted you and took you in as his own.
and he gave me his last name. I knew nothing else.
That's amazing.
And I didn't even develop
gift.
it was total, and it's all as a result of AA, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, excuse me, the program.
The
believe it or not.
program.
Yeah. We're trying to protect anonymity, but yeah, because of the program, my dad was sober. He had met my mom indirectly through the program.
Amazing. Love
crazy.
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, if anyone's ever wondering if it's hereditary or if it's in your genes, it most definitely is.
It's both.
Somebody told me once in a meeting, and I was like, that's not true. I don't know my mom. So how do I know she's an addict? And I was so snobby about it. Like, that's not true.
Yeah.
How is that? 100% accurate.
Yeah.
It does. It is in your blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy. That's a thing.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing for me, and this is me being a little bit vulnerable,
Holy.
in my inventory was my sexual inventory.
Oh,
I couldn't find a part in some of the things that happened to
I
me.
understand, and
And
that's what I was mentioning, as I know you
yeah,
were a victim in some of
yeah, I
those.
am.
And how me and John talked about this, is like, how do you? I don't have anything to relate that to.
Yeah, I think for me it was, why do I have to find a part in that? I didn't have anything to do with it. I had no control of it. I was just a kid. And I think
But
somebody in a meeting
yeah,
said, you don't have a part in that, but you have a part in how you choose to let it go and not let it draw on you anymore. So that was like a light bulb moment for me. I was like, okay, I can accept that.
yeah,
I can accept that. I, for the longest time, didn't want to do that part
yeah,
of my steps or
yeah.
any part of that. I just didn't want to go down that road. Because of that, it made me not be able to say no to anybody when I let people take advantage of me. And as embarrassing as that is to say out loud, but that's just
No,
where
it's
I
real.
was.
Real, and somebody is going to hear that and
Yeah.
go, "Yep,
Yeah. And so I think coming into the program and learning boundaries and how to set those boundaries and stick to them,
yeah,
I'm able to protect myself more today and
yeah,
realize that I can walk away at any point in time.
for sure,
And if I don't put myself in that situation to where I could experience anything like that,
yeah,
it'll never happen to
yep,
me.
yep,
I'm not going to say never because shit happens, but I can protect myself today because of the program, because of the people, because of the things that I've learned in here. And now my kids get to protect themselves because they know. When my daughter was in foster care, there was a little boy in there and he had said, tried to lock her in the bathroom and asked her some things. And she said, no, my mommy said, I don't have to do that if I don't want to.
Whoa,
Yeah. And I ended up going to court over it, and they were very protective of the boy and called my kid a liar, and that's fine.
it's
Oh,
okay."
my kid is great. He didn't do anything to her because she stuck up for herself. She was 4 years old. He was 10, and she told me later on, and I don't know where it came from. She just wanted to be proud and tell me, and she was like, I said no. And I was like, I'm so proud of you. So that, even though she's in foster care, I knew I'd done something right.
Fuck, you did.
So coming back out of all of that, them getting out of the foster home and having lunch with the CPS worker years later, she was like, I'm very proud of you. Like, she was really hard on me. Like, she did not believe me whatsoever. She thought I was just this derelict piece of crap
Yep,
mother, which understandable.
totally, I get
I'm
it.
shooting up heroin and partying and choosing that life over my children. But I can honestly say that if I had to go back and do it again, I would, because I wouldn't be who I am today without it.
Wow. I want to say thank you so much for coming on here and being vulnerable and sharing your experience and your strength and your hope. And I know for a fact that there's one person that's going to get on and listen to what you have to say, and it's going to change their fucking life.
I
Even if
really
it's
believe
one
it takes
person.
one. It
Yeah,
just takes one person to hear your story, one person to have faith in you. It takes one freaking drink, one time of using. It just takes one.
it's just some choices.
And whether it's good or bad, you're off and running. And also, of course, they have to be ready. But if someone is, I believe in you. Like, I've had a couple friends come and stay at my house and get sober. And I would always tell them, when you're ready, you just let me know. I'm not chasing you anymore, because I have done that before. I've chased people down and I've tried to save them and tried to help them, and it just caused me to relapse.
Man, yeah, for sure.
And
And it's the love in
yes,
you, and I
yeah,
get it, and I do understand it. It's hard,
yeah.
but it's definitely we got to attract.
I can't put other people above me anymore, you
Totally.
know?
And there's a reason it's attraction rather than promotion. And
Yes, 100%.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I do because I've done exactly what you did. I want to help you.
Yeah.
And I have the answers.
Yes.
Just look at
Yeah.
look in this door right here. They got to
Yeah.
walk themselves.
Yeah. And some haven't, and that's okay, but they know where to go.
Yep.
That's the thing I was blessed with. Anyone who gets like a nudge from the judge or was raised in it, they know where to go.
Yep.
Even if you're not happy there and you just drop your court card off and then you leave, like, you still at least know where you're going.
You fucking know.
And you know
just
what,
like you.
yeah.
You knew.
Yeah, I knew. When I relapsed and went back out, I was out for, I think, 4 years. And I came back and the same people were there, and I was embarrassed and I was just gross. I was just gross. And I sat in the back, but everyone welcomed me with open arms. So it is a program that, all walks of life are in.
Got it.
And
Well,
I
thank
love
you.
it.
Thank you so much for being here. This was it's probably one of the best ones we've had so far.
Oh, I'm so all over the place. I'm
No,
so sorry.
it wasn't. It was just so great. So thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you for
We
having
appreciate
me.
you.
I
Be
really
safe.
appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.